Peter. Dear boy. This video is sponsored by BigBadToyStore.com, and as you can see, they got all the badass toys. But the feature that makes Big Bad Toy Store what it is their pile of flute shipping. Combine and hold orders, hold items up to 90 days, add in-stocks to pre-order shipments, save money on shipping. If you're looking for Big Bad Toys, why not go to the store that has Big Bad Toy in their name? It only makes sense. Okay, people, today let's take a quick look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man 2 movie Doc Ock. That's right, it is branded Spider-Man 2, just like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man from the retro Spider-Man wave. Is that enough Spider-Mans for you? And the nearest we can figure is likeness rights or licensing or some lawyer type stuff. It's always some lawyer type stuff. And the licensing for Spider-Man 2 probably goes back to when that movie originally came out at some point, somehow. Loophole. So it was either make the packages like this or not release the figures at all. So I'd much rather have the figures of Doc Ock, of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, than empty space on my shelf between the other figures. Looking at the package, nice digital render here on the front with dramatic background, close up. What's he thinking? Oh, am I a bad guy? Am I a good guy? Who knows? Logo, 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 warning, choking hazard, small parts. Please don't put the good doctor in your mouth. On the side, another digital render of the character. On the back, yet another, along with the accessories included. Down here is more warnings in all kinds of languages, so you don't put them in your mouth. On the other side, vanilla pose Doc Ock on top, Spider-Man logo on bottom, legalese, barcode. Let's get this open and see what's going on here. Okay, you notice that I just displayed these two claws and these two claws in the unboxing segment. But when I looked at the package, I realized there's supposed to be another set. So I went back to the baggie and nothing. It was just these, and I was starting to get pissed off. Thankfully, I went and checked Dan Who's review, and he pointed out that the other set is taped to the top of the package. When I opened this up and got the figure and these accessories out, I just tossed this to the side, not even thinking about it. Because why? The first thing I recommend doing right out of the package is straightening the tentacles. At least as much as you possibly can, because they can be stiff. That way when you go to pose them, you're working from scratch. You're not fighting the bends that are already there. I've already taken some of my pictures and turnarounds, and the first few, I was frustrated all to hell. I was fighting them. Why has that been there and why can't it? But we'll talk about the tentacles more in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to talk about the figure, and them being back here like this makes that much easier to do. Even though the packaging says this is Spider-Man 2 Doc Ock, it's not. This is undeniably No Way Home Doc Ock. He did have this under jacket in Spider-Man 2, but there the collar was much bigger and it was zipped up. Now I know he could have unzipped it between scenes or movies or time or whatever, but I don't think he had this black shirt on in Spider-Man 2. A great likeness though. You can see the eyes through the glasses. I think mine are glued on a little high. I'd like to see those just down the nose a bit. I may pull those off at some point, try to fix that. There we go, hitting them with a little heat, they seem to straighten themselves out, or at least I think they straighten themselves out. It seems to look a little better. The lips, the nose, the facial features, the hair. Yeah, this looks like Alfred Molina from No Way Home. The jacket isn't quite as textured as what we saw in the movie, but it definitely works with the wrinkles coming down, the collar, the buttons being painted. I like how they stick out. They're slightly darker. Got a cuff around the sleeve down at the bottom, brown gloves. Pretty plain pants with the wrinkles and the knees, and I'm just calling out anatomy at this point. Bunched up down at the bottom before you get to the fairly plain brown shoes. There is a heavy texture to the shirt, which is cool because that's a nice contrast to the two jackets, which I did not expect. For some reason, I figured this would be one piece, just sculpted to look like it was layers, but it's not. there's a whole nother jacket under there. And the gold on the zipper is painted, so just a little bit of extra effort. I love it. The back is sculpted to look like the tentacles are ripped through the jacket, as it should be. This is the cinematic Doc Ock. That's how he looks. And then to finish it off, there is this overlay piece with the brace around. It's supposed to be extra support for the tentacles on the back. Just molded in silver, it has some extra sculpt work, and it floats up and down. In fact, it's pretty soft. It gets out of the way of what little articulation there is in the torso. And I say it like that because it had to be done. These tentacles are mounted in. They do not unplug. They are stuck. As much as I've wrenched on these trying to get them posed and stuff, I've never felt like they're going to come out. There's been a couple of times where I was afraid it was going to go flying out of my hand, but not coming out of the figure itself. Those are secured. So there wasn't room to put an ab crunch or a floating dumbbell up here, which is fine because these add a lot of weight to the figure and throw the balance all the way off. So that would just be another point to contend with when you're trying to get the damn thing to stand up. But while we're talking articulation, there is a dumbbell joint up at the top of the neck, and I was going to say a ball at the bottom. It is a separate piece, but it doesn't move, I guess because of the collar piece. But you can look up, you can look down, tilt so nice, and then look left and right. No butterflies. Again, there's a lot going on with the torso back here. So there's a pin coming out to the shoulder, rotates around with a hinge that comes up to there. Swivel at the bicep. Hinge and swivel at the elbow, I guess because it's a puffy sleeve, but not bad range at all. It does come up past 90. Then it rotates in and out. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. Ball joint slightly above the waist. There is some shirt sculpted up above the pants, and then it goes into the break point for the articulation. Crunch a little, it arcs back. There is some tilt to it, and then rotation. you see me struggling, right? This adds so much. Ball coming out to the hip, comes up, goes back, a little hindered by the jacket coming down, then hinges. Ooh, ouch, better than a lot of Spider-Man. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee, gonna try to do this as best as possible under the jacket. Oh, comes all the way up, kicking his octopus ass. Hinge at the ankle, goes way back, and then forward and front-facing pin for rocker. For accessories in the package, Doc Ock has 2 fist hands. Then he comes with a relaxed right hand and a grippy type left hand. Pull the hand out, plugs right in. Then for pincher options, like we saw at the first when I was looking for all of them, there's 2 of these kind of sculpted into a, not a claw position, but more dynamic than just being flat, I guess. Little silver paint in the middle, and then the obvious red dots. Then there's 2 of these, which again were hiding from me, and at first you think, well, they're just kind of flat. They don't look like much, but there are hinges in the middle right there that allow these to come closed. I wish there was more hinges in the middle to do more things, but to me, this closes up and then does that talking to Doc Ock in his brain thing, or stabbing. And then there's 2 of these bigger flat pieces with no center to allow more stability. We'll get to that. Camera back to usual position. Welcome back. The tentacles are impressive. Again, they can be frustrating, but once you get the hang of them, or at least realize how much force you have to put into them, you can do a lot of things with them. Again, they are attached to the figure. They're not supposed to come out. They are secured, which is good because they can be tight. They require a lot of pushing, and you don't want that falling out on you as you're doing that, because you wouldn't be able to do this. If they were removable, you'd be popping that out faster than hell. They are bendy from base to end. They will go anywhere you want them to go. I mean, keep on twisting, and oh yeah, okay. That has some possibilities. Maybe something like that. You'll also notice I haven't plugged any of the claws on yet. That's because as you're doing this, you probably want to leave them off. Or at least that's what I've been doing, because you'll be doing it and knocking them off and falling down. It doesn't matter. You want to get these posed and then do the plugging. There's nothing wrong with doing it like this either. Just having some... Maybe it's in the process of doing something like that. I don't know. It's your figure. Do what you want. And then these just plug onto the end. Put it on there and have it closed like it's searching, like it's kind of just looking around. I have noticed that the articulation on these aren't the greatest. There's a flex back on this one. This one seems to want to close most of the way. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to play with this one, heat it up or something. The other thing to remember is balance, because, again, so much weight back here. But since I have this one forward and this one kind of even with the body, this one goes back, but this one goes forward. So hopefully, if I adjust the ankles a little bit, yeah. You have to think about it a little bit before standing it up, or you're going to get frustrated all to hell. I mean, it's going to be frustrating anyway, but you know what I mean. Give it some thought. But don't forget about these. Those flat pinchers are to allow the figure to be stood up onto the tentacles like this. Looking pretty damn sweet. I really like this look. The trick is to get the tentacles even with the body. Move them forward a bit where the center of gravity is in a line from the head down to the pinchers. And it's fairly secure now that I have them in position. The first couple of attempts, the tentacles were trying to move back into the position they were out of the package, which is back. So I'd get it up for a couple of minutes, try to do this, and it also works if you want to get some sense of motion to it. One foot, or well, one tentacle in front of the other. As long as you get that center of gravity, see the line going to the other tentacle on the other side, going straight up the body. Well, okay, this is leaning forward a bit, but not enough to topple it over. Plus the weight on the back here with these tentacles bending back as far as they are, it's kind of counteracting. So, it still works. Size-wise, Octavius stands at about 6 1/4 inches tall, and the tentacles to the very tip of the plug are about 8 1/2 inches long. Tentacles aren't going to make it easy, are they? Here he is with the No Way Home Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and the J. Jonah Jameson, and having them side by side like this, he does seem slightly large, but it doesn't throw me off. Actually, I just looked it up. Alfred Molina is 6'2", J.K. Simmons is 5'11", and Tobey Maguire is 5'7" or 5'8". So this works. Same goes for the other two Spider-Mans from the movie. Of course, you can't always go by actual actor heights because Willem Dafoe is 5'9", 5'10", and this Green Goblin is obviously bigger than Doc Ock. But here is the No Way Home villains we have so far, and they look pretty good together. I haven't reviewed the Green Goblin. I actually opened it up for this review, but messing around with it for a minute, it's okay. The likeness is great. The details on the costume is fantastic, but I really wish there was some boot swivels, because getting him crouched on this thing is a pain in the ass. That and the hips are funky. They want to spring forward, and then you have to arc him back to kind of get him standing straight up. You can see the curve right there, and then kick forward and then kick back. The rest of the articulation is nice, and like I said, the details, these, and then the spikes sticking out there, that bag is kind of in the way of the arm coming down, but the golds, the purples, the metallic greens, it looks good. I'll just say it. I like the Doc Ock figure more than I like the Green Goblin figure. I'm okay with. You need a repaint. But out of these three villains, Doc Ock is my favorite. So at the end of the day, what else can I say other than this does everything I want an MCU Doc Ock to do? Hell, this does more than my comic book Doc Ocks do. Granted, I didn't get the, what was it, the cartoon version of Dr. Octopus that came with the bendy tentacles that you could swap back to the other Doc Ocks or something like that. I never did that. So, yeah, whatever. I'm talking about the cinematic Doc Ock, and in that aspect, I'm completely happy. The package can call it whatever it wants to. Hasbro can call it whatever they want to. To me, this is my No Way Home Doc Ock that just so happens to fit into a Spider-Man 2 display if I want to do that too. No Way Home smashed all the good things about all the movies together, and that's the way I display them. My Doc Ock with my Green Goblin, with my Tobey Maguire, with my Andrew Garfield, with Tom Holland and Sandman and MJ and everybody else. Just one big happy display. Because that's what I'm about. Big happy displays that make me a big happy guy. And now that I've said all the names out loud, I realized back at the first of this review, I said that the packaging for Doc Ock was the same as Andrew Garfield's. What I meant was that they're branded under different movies. This under Spider-Man 2, Andrew Garfield under Amazing Spider-Man 2. So the 2 threw me off, okay? That packaging was blue. This one was orangish. Orangey. So go ahead, enjoy yourself down in the comments, but know that I caught myself. It may have taken a little while, but I did. But we're talking about Doc Ock, this Doc Ock. And now that I have him and Green Goblin and Sandman for the most part, I would like for him to be a bit more deluxe-y, you know, a bit more sandy, more dynamic, but at the same time, if I have them all standing around in a display, sorry, Doc. If I have them standing around in a display, then they look perfectly fine. But now, come on, we need a new updated Lizard, and we need Electro. Need. I'm not talking about want. I'm not talking about wish listy. I'm talking about need. We need Electro. A mighty need. A hankering. More than a hankering. A desire for an Electro. With Lizard, I can at least stand in one of the old versions. They're not, well, okay. But the old Electro does not cut mustard. Need a No Way Home version. With updated articulation and everything else. Am I going to keep harping on this? Probably.